ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. So reports have surfaced that Gervonta Tank Davis will fight Lamont Roach Jr. on the undercard of David Benavidez versus David Morel. Before I give the business perspective that you all came here to hear, let me encourage you, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel, support the channel. You can even join as a member of the channel and become a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. All of my Roll the Tape film crew family members know that this is what we do on this channel. So all of your monetary contributions through the super thanks, and when we go live, through the super chat and super sticker, and even the cash app at $ Manager Marty, is greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, and I thank you in advance. Now that we got the hug, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards out the way, let's get right into this. I don't know who started the reports, but for one, I haven't heard anyone who represent PBC, who represent Swanson's public relations company, Kelly Swanson that is, who is the public relations expert and the public relations president of Swanson Public Relations Company. I haven't heard any representation of PBC or Kelly Swanson's Public Relations Company come out and make a public statement confirming that the fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. is postponed due to venue and location issues. I haven't heard it. Now, according to how PBC conduct business with regards to promoting their fights, we know between a month and a half to 2 months out, at minimum, is when they start announcing ticket sales, right? Like when the tickets go on sale, and we haven't heard anything. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't believe that report, that the fight's going to be postponed. All I'm saying is I haven't heard it. I like going by, confirmation from the representation opposed to a reporter. That's just me. And I'm not saying that the reporter in this case has it wrong. I just don't go by hearsay. You know my quote, all of you that are a part of the Roll the Tape film crew family. Y'all know my quote that I invented. Hearsay is heresy, right? And so it applies even in this situation. However, needless to say, even if this fight will be postponed to the early start of 2025, it's hard for me to really believe that Gervonta Tank Davis will actually be a co-main event to David Benavidez. And the reason why I have several reasons why I say that. Let me give you at least one of them right now. By asking you this question, you, the viewer, as the viewers, my gosh, I love when the viewership is increasing exponentially. Let me ask you this question. Simple math, basic arithmetic. How many pay-per-views did David Benavidez headline? Okay, good. Because I know you're going to put that in the comment section below. Good. Another question. How many pay-per-views did Gervonta Tank Davis headline? Good. I'm glad you answered those two questions. Leave that in the comment section, by the way, so I can read that. I love your feedback. Okay, good. So that's one way right there. Basic arithmetic. If your answer is that Gervonta Tank Davis has headlined more pay-per-views than David Benavidez, you are correct. Which segues me into my next point. And I'm going to ask you this question now. Do you think, this is just your opinion, leave it in the comment section below. I want to engage right now. Do you think that David Benavidez sell more pay-per-views when he compete than Gervonta Tank Davis? It's just yes or no. We don't have to go back and forth. Just yes or no. Do you think that? If your answer is yes, please tell me why. I just want to know why you think that. And it's okay. It's all right. I just want to engage with you now, so that we can start using logic. So we can start using basic arithmetic. So that we can start using common sense, which is not so common. When we start talking about topics like this, when we start hearing reports, when we start hearing other people who have absolutely nothing to do with the promotion of a fight, matchmaking of the fight, or any fight for that matter, management of the fighters, etc., etc. Let's just use those three basic principles when we conclude and deduce based off of research. Now, from a promoter's standpoint, from a boxing manager's standpoint, from a businessman or businesswoman's standpoint, from the perspective of business, it would totally be unwise if Tank Davis is on the undercard of anyone's fight at this point in his career. I mean, we're talking about Tank being the face of boxing. You heard me tell you that time and time and time again. You've heard me say that over and over and over again, that Tank Davis is the face of boxing. There's not another face of boxing that you all know that has been on the undercard of someone who is not the face of boxing as the main event. Anytime. You've never seen it before. Why now? And that's not a knock or criticize or critique to David Benavidez, because David Benavidez has a huge following. It's undeniable because of his heritage. It's no denying it. Because of his talent inside of the ring. There's no denying it. Because of the antics of his dad that generate publicity, whether we agree with it or not. It's all good business, right? But David Benavidez do not sell more pay-per-views or tickets for that matter than Tank Davis. So the most logical, wise thing for any promoter to do that have both of those heavy hitters in the game on the same card is to make Tank Davis the main event, the headliner, the showstopper, like he's always been thus far in his career. I mean, if you really want to be technical, the first time we've seen David Benavidez on a pay-per-view, headlined, by the way, is when he fought Caleb Plant. And then the next time we saw him headline, I'm talking about himself, the second time was when he fought Demetrius Andre, right? So those were good fights. And of course, Benavidez won both of them. And I'm talking about at the 168-pound weight limit. Let me be clear on that. All right? Let me make sure I'm clear on that. And most audience members who represent the boxing community don't really know. I'm talking about the non-hardcore fans, the casual fans, don't really know too much about David Morel. So this will be his first time, right, in a pay-per-view event. And I'm talking about him possibly being the headliner. And Lamont Roach. Most non-hardcore casual fans of boxing do not know who he is either. So with those two facts alone, you already know that David Benavidez, whether he's on Tank Davis's card or his own as the headliner, he's going to have to carry the promotion to galvanize fans to purchase the pay-per-view and come sit in that arena or venue because he has more name recognition. He has more experience to the paying public when we talk about pay-per-views compared to his opponent. And we can apply that same truth, fact, and logic to Tank Davis in comparison to Lamont Roach Jr. And so with that being said, Tank Davis will be the headline on this card with Lamont Roach Jr. There is absolutely no question about that. Now, if they choose, they meaning the promotion chooses to put David Benavidez versus David Morel on this card, I can assure you that that will be on the undercard of the main event, like a co-main event. Or at this point in David Benavidez's career, well, he's already had previous pay-per-view buy experiences with a paying audience. He can actually headline his own card against David Morel. I'm not opposed to that. And in fact, I encourage it that way so that he can maximize his earning potential. You know I'm for the fighter anyway. Y'all know this. So that's two different cards, two different boxing events, and it's good for business. And my final reason in closing to why I know and believe that Tank Davis will not be on the undercard of a David Benavidez versus David Morel fight is because of the machine. You don't know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the machine that's behind Tank Davis. You still don't know what I'm talking. Let me ask you a question. Does David Benavidez have a promoter? It's just yes or no. We don't have to go back and forth about this. Leave it in the comments section below. Just answer the question. It's no, well, it is a right or wrong answer. It's no big deal. Give you a couple more seconds to type that in. Okay, then he does. That's number 3 right there. That's number 3. In other words, is David Benavidez has separate representation than Tank Davis. I told y'all this before. I'll keep telling you all this, and most of you believe me and most of you listen to me, but some of you don't, and that's okay. You're going to learn today. Samson Lukowitz is the promoter of David Benavidez. Okay? And that's the thing that I want to break down very quickly. In other words, is PBC, right? The promotion work with a litany of promoters to allow their fighters to be showcased under the PBC banner. Doesn't necessarily mean that fighter is directly signed to Tom Brown or TGB Promotions, who at this point promote all of PBC fights all across the country and the world for that matter, right? So with that being said, David Benavidez has his own promoter. So David Benavidez's promoter has to go through the process of lobbying for his fighter to go on another promoter's card. We talked about this before, y'all. I taught y'all the business of boxing. You all understand how that process looks at this point, right? You should. If you're part of the Roller Tape family, I know you do. And if you're new to the channel, you will be familiar with these terms that I'm mentioning, right? And so all I'm saying is this: Tank Davis